Hello and welcome to the third ever Smell the Glove podcast. I am St. Paulie D, aka Jungle Jim 67 on Twitter.
And I'm pissed. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Dr. J at MB Deep on Twitter.
Yeah, I think pissed is the right word. So basically, this is a deja vu for us guys because what we might have mentioned in the last podcast is that straight after we got pumped out by Liga, we got on the phone to each other and recorded episode 2 of Smell the Glove. And we canned it because we were like, oh, we're back in the Champions League. And we're basically just going to sit down and have the exact same fucking conversation all over again. So let's cut the crap and just get straight to it. We got pumped out by Maribor. So, Dr. J, talk us through it. What happened? What went wrong?
Well, I mean, there are three games to talk about. The first one you could say was Maribor away, and we should have won 2-1. One of the best clearances of a goal that I've ever seen off someone's face. Johansson did a great job of saving that goal. And we were wasteful, and that's what happened. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. That game, we should have put it away and we didn't. So I don't want to talk more about it because I'll just get more mad. Anyway, moving on to the next game, which was Inverness away, and we rested some players, and what I saw ended up being we'll call it a preamble for what happened against Maribor at home. I mean, the same game, the same exact situation that happened again, and I don't understand why. We were just not wide on the right side, and Ambrose, God bless him. I know he plays for his national team on the right side. He does not play a right wing back for us. He just can't. He doesn't overlap, and you could see that we had no one on the right side to do that. He had Ambrose playing on the right side. No business over there doing that against Inverness, and it just pathetic. And it happened again. We ended up once again at home playing with a right wing that doesn't overlap, that makes us narrow as a team. We don't get wide, and I don't know what the hell was going on with the team selection. Why you have rested Denier, whatever his name is. Why have you rested him and then don't play him? If you're not going to play him on Tuesday, get him a run out on Saturday. Let's go ahead and let him play. I don't understand. If he's worth $10 million, that's more than Ambrose. Put him in. And even worse, you let him play on the road, but you don't let him play at home in the Champions League. I don't understand. His last home game, he scores within 2 minutes. Get him on the pitch. That one, I think that one thing of what we dealt with there with Ambrose on the right wing, I think that I'm not saying that cost us, but I will say that did not allow us to play down the wings. And if you go back and look at how we dominated Maribor in the first game, that's because we were down both wings each time. Izzy did have a little bit of an issue playing defense in the first game. Not that much of a deal this time around. But dear God, we're just Inverness all over again, just through the middle. And all this talk about attacking football just never happened. And I don't know what happened. And after that, I don't know. I'm just in shock.
Yeah, so I didn't actually watch the game yet. As per usual, I was working. It was midweek, and I listened to the game on radio. The problem with listening on radio on Celtic TV is the commentary is so incredibly biased that it makes you think that Celtic are in absolute control of the game. I mean, how much of the play did we actually have? What were we looking at here?
Oh, I'll tell you what, the game, I'll say, compared to the way that Mulgrew played in the first game with Kyle and Mulgrew basically bossing midfield, that didn't happen this time. I don't know what the hell happened. We should have done the same thing. If we had controlled the game like we did the first time, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We didn't control the game. They had a lot of joy down through the middle of the park. They overran Johansson and Mulgrew again, as if we didn't learn from Liga. I don't understand, but no. We did not control the game like we did last time. Nope, not at all.
I think you know what the worst thing for me was sitting on Celtic TV and the Celtic wall. It was all Liga fans on it again, just absolutely berating Celtic. See, to be quite honest, I think we deserve it. We got through in a technicality. You'd think we'd get our act together, We go away from home and then lose at home at Fortress Celtic Park to some Slovenian mob that we've never heard of. I mean, in the scale of like bad days for Celtic, where does this rank in your Celtic watching career?
Down there with what happened when we lost to, what was that team from Sweden? What was that team that we lost to? That we got pie on the technicality watching them.
Oh,
Sion.
Sion. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
uh,
They're pretty close
Swiss,
to that.
Swiss, I
And
think.
yeah, Swiss, yeah. So check this out. So yesterday, you realize we were the only home team to lose and not go through.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. The worst thing for me is it got picked up in Canada and ran on Sportsnet here as a big upset of like how we got embarrassed. And I was just cringing, just thinking, oh, did they have to pick us out as well? I mean,
They picked it up here. They picked it up here on ESPN FC, which is which they show here in the US, with Charlie Nicholas and Craig Burley. You know, they were. I mean, that show is 100%. If you ever watch my tweets, and if I ever mention anything about ESPN FC, it's amazing how they could have a Champions League qualifying day, and the first 8 stories they run are all EPL. But they do that, and this time they ran the first 8 stories about EPL, Di Maria, this, blah blah blah, and then the one thing they talk about, you know, all of a sudden you got those guys talking about how pitiful we were. Now, once again, I think you're right, man. You're exactly correct. There's nothing you can say.
Okay, well, we can cry all day about not being in the Champions League, but in fairness, we've had 2 bites of the cherry and we couldn't get it done against opposition which are hardly world class, so we don't really deserve to be there. Why do we not deserve to be there? After the game yesterday, a few hundred protesters out front of Celtic Park shouting Lawwell out and Dermot Desmond out, sack the board, similar to 93. Are we at a stage where we need to get rid of these guys? It's difficult to tell for me if Peter Lawwell doesn't want to spend money, I don't know the guy, or it's a case where Dermot Desmond's not giving him money. It seems like gross mismanagement across the board from the club. What are your thoughts on these two?
Well, I mean, remember the last time we talked about Fergus McCann, and it was his money. He could invest it if he wanted to, all those different things. The problem I have is that, you know, the money that we have coming in, there's got to be a reason why it's not being spent, or even better, and you can say that, yes, we've spent money, but why it's not being spent on quality. And there's a couple of questions as to, you know, is it John Park? Is it, you know, is it just, buying that's last minute? And like I said last week, I'm telling you the same exact issue. If we wait till a store is about ready to close and there's nothing left but, you know, an extra pair of socks and an extra small T-shirt, we're not going to get what we want at the transfer window. And I think that's part of our issue. We wait to see if we can spend, and that's a major, major issue.
I'm just at a loss. I mean, a homeboy's brought up a good point. Could it be that we only spend money from the year before? As in, we've already spent this season's money? Or is it a case of just like, are we hoarding money? Do you think it's a case that we think, okay, Sevco are up next season, let's spend then? We have literally bought no players this year. We've brought guys in on loan. It sounds like this Bosnian guy isn't going to happen now. So, I mean, do you think it's a case of hoarding money, or is there any strategy to this, or is it just penny pinching?
I don't know. I can't tell you. That's the $64,000 question. If anyone has an idea, let me know. I mean, I have opinions on what it could be, but there's nothing there. You know what's interesting is the other day there was an article or a blog that was put up by Paul Larkin, where he interviewed John Paul Taylor, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, obviously they have a personal relationship, they've chatted, things like that. The issue that I came across in the blog was, you know, this interview was that JPT talks about, hey, you know, the fans want one thing, and you know, the club has a goal for something else, you know, what the club wants to do. And I just sat there going, Paul, ask the question. The question is, okay, if the club wants one thing different from the fans, what is that one thing that's different? What is it? We were this close to getting an answer and we just didn't get it. And to me, that should have been the question. I mean, if I were there, I would have said, well, what is it? And I don't know if there's an actual opinion given, or does anyone know what the real situation is? You know, is they afraid that if they told us that the supporters would go crazy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You got so many people out there that are just saying, "Oh, I don't mind because as long as we don't end up like Sevco, it's okay." I don't care about that.
I'm absolutely
It doesn't matter to me.
sick and tired of hearing the Sevco argument. Oh, if we spend money, we'll go out of business. That is absolute nonsense. We will not go out of business if we spend money. It's been an excuse over and over again. It's probably been one of the things that annoys me about Celtic is we've got a measuring stick where we look across the Ibrox and think, oh, as long as we're better than them, it's okay. We've got to stop thinking that these guys are our competition. They're a dead club with no history. Our competition, we should be looking at teams like Benfica, etc., and being like, right, these guys are competing in the Champions League. How are they doing it every year? Let's go and do that as well. These guys are our competition. These guys are our peers. That's what we should be looking at. I just don't understand. I think the situation here is, you're right, the fans have an expectation, and the club, or the board, should we just say, have an expectation. The board's probably not a good word to use, but I'll use it anyway, right? So the board being Dermot Desmond, Peter Lawwell and that. I know they're not the board, but let's just refer to them as the board because that was what the old board was. The board seem happy just to make a profit, not risk money, and win the league in Scotland. And we'll maybe win it next year. And we'll hopefully get into the Champions League. And that'll do us just fine because we're a small wee club. There's a glass ceiling on Scottish football and blah, blah, blah. The situation is they don't want to risk money. That's what I think it is. They refuse to invest because it's a risk. They can keep on generating profit through Celtic by doing this lowball situation of spending no money, winning a crap Scottish league and potentially getting the Champions League and getting a jackpot without spending much money. And they've been caught out this year because they've just not invested and they've got unlucky. Previously with Lennon, we had a guy who got a terrible squad with no money, got us good enough to get in the Champions League. With changed manager, it's not been the case. We've not been able to do that and they've been absolutely busted and caught red-handed by it. I'm absolutely sickened by the direction this football club's going in. The fans here, you, me, and pretty much everybody else out there, we don't want to go out and spend £20 million on a football player. That's ridiculous. We're not asking for that. What I want is honest and good investment on the first team squad to get us into a competitive position so we don't worry about getting the Champions League. It should be a given that we should get past Maribors and Ligas and these teams and get ourselves in the Champions League. Am I right? Or am I just talking absolute shite here?
No, you're exactly correct. And let me explain to you why you're right. Today I was looking at the pot draw for Champions League. There are 2 teams in pot 1, which means those are the top 8 teams in Europe that are from, ready, of all places, Portugal. Portugal has 2 teams in the top 8 because of, well, how they spend, how they've spent over time, and how they've built. And then they've built the league. And how not only have they built within the league, but how the league has performed with Benfica winning a couple UEFA Cups and then getting into some quarterfinals. All these different things that are taking place with what's going on in Portugal. They've done it correctly for the last 8, 10, 12 years, and look what's happened. And now they've got 2 teams, not 1 team, 2 teams in pot 1. 2 teams. Come on, I mean that's the game we're trying to play, isn't it? Isn't that what we're talking about here?
I think the situation.
And now they've got 2 teams.
Yeah, people will point out that Portuguese teams do have a slightly unfair advantage on Scotland, where they have a very, very easy avenue to bring in Brazilian players. So I'm not saying it's a perfect example of copying Benfica's and stuff like that, but look, if you look at Holland and you look at some of the smaller, even Belgium, whatever, like there's teams out there. I mean, Maribor from Slovenia and beat us. Liga beat us comfortably from Poland. I mean, surely Poland and Slovenia, we should be able to compete with these countries. But here's an idea, right? I'm going to put...
Compete. Are
and
you kidding me? Compete? We should be blowing them out of the water because not only is our coefficient better, but what we're spending on players is 2-3 times more.
Exactly. Absolutely exactly. Complete underachieving. But talking about underachieving, right? I'm going to put a couple of topics in front of you about Celtic Football Club, and you say if we've underachieved, done terribly, or we've done well in each one of them, okay? So start off, right? Attendance at Celtic Park.
Underachieved.
Underachieved. I think that's quite right. When we've got a 60,000 seater stadium and we're scraping God knows what to get in. So many experience. Right, fan experience for Celtic fans going to the games.
It's better than it was. It's just by the looks of it. Last time I was there was a season and a half ago. So I assume it's better than it was with Celtic Way. But after that, from everything I've read with the way that the the stewards take care of people in there. I'm assuming it's probably worse from everything I've read. So it's dreadful.
Okay, progress in Europe. Should I even bother asking that?
No, I don't even ask.
Okay, what about Celtic's ability to bring in football talent on the field?
Well, obviously, look at the new guy, Skapovic or whatever his name is. He's like, oh, well, PSV is really a big club, and that comment was made today. So, I mean, even some guy who is in the second division of Spain is like, well, you know what? If they're not in the Champions League, then I really couldn't give two shits. And that's the problem we're going to have. That's the problem we're going to have. And as soon as, I mean, Van Dijk, I mean, he's not going to want to stay. Why should he stay? Why should he stay for this shit? I mean, I'm embarrassed.
All right, well, off the field then, what about marketing Celtic abroad? What about that? We done well or underachieved? What do you reckon?
I mean, let me put it this way. Let me tell you how it's beyond underachieved and how pathetic it is. When Celtic came to Philadelphia, Graham has talked over and over and over again on Beyond the Waves about how, you know, there was nothing here for them for anyone to buy. They didn't bring anything to sell. Celtic brought nothing here. Basically, you know, just basically, here's the team. Let's play. Get on the plane and go home. A couple weeks ago, they're playing the Guinness Cup of Champions here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's AC Milan versus Liverpool. Great. There's more Liverpool stuff here this weekend. I'm sitting at my son's club training right now, looking out. There's more kids with Liverpool stuff on that they got because they made their parents take them and drive them 4 hours to go watch Liverpool play in Charlotte because that was the closest of the Guinness Cup games. And there's more of those Liverpool shirts here now. Why are they there? Because they brought stuff to sell and they marketed themselves very, very well at that game in Charlotte. They had almost 60,000 people at the game in Charlotte, and it was 90% Liverpool, and they sold a ton of stuff. There was maybe 10% AC Milan people, and they had AC Milan shirts there. But they sold a ton of Liverpool stuff. And if you look at just that one example, they do nothing here to get that level of excitement, that level of involvement from anyone here. They won't even start an online store where I don't have to wait 10 weeks to get something from the Celtic Superstore.
I don't want to be one of these people just like, I think over the last year it's become very popular just to bash Peter Lawwell. I don't exactly know what Peter Lawwell's job description is. I don't know what he has a hand in, what he doesn't have a hand in, right? My thing is this. We just went through a list there. We can't market ourselves abroad. We can't get people to come to games. We give them a lousy fan experience when they come. We can't attract good players. We've hired managers like Tony Mowbray, who were our fifth choice on the basis that we couldn't attract a proper manager in the past. Where's this guy succeeding? Why is he in a fucking job? How on earth is he justifying a job? Failure across the board. Can you think at any level where Peter Lawwell here is actually succeeding as chairman of Celtic?
Well, so let's do this. Why don't you ask me questions and I'll give you, and then we'll role play, and I'll be Peter Lawwell, and you ask me, hey Peter, what do you think of XYZ? And I'll
what I'd give for a sit down conversation with Peter Lawwell just to fucking tell him what I think.
I know, to be a fly on the wall.
All right, let's
agreed. Give me a question, and I'll give you.
I'm not even going to make this tough. I'm just going to ask really basic questions which anybody should be able to answer in that position, and we should already know the answers in our head to these. And to be honest with you, I can't even think of what he would say to these. Right? Okay, let's go. Right, Peter Lawwell, what are your goals for Celtic?
I don't have any. I don't have any goals. And not only do I not have any goals for Celtic, I only have goals for me. You see, I only have personal goals. I couldn't give two shits about Celtic FC. My goal is to get past the SFA board. That's cool, to build a little resume. And then from there, I'm already on the European Club Union, Union of Clubs, that board. That's really cool. Next for me, next stop, UEFA. My goal is to replace Platini, and you know what? You better fucking like me, because when I'm there, if you're not liking me, I'm going to take you guys a fucking part. That's what the deal is. There you go. That's Peter Lawwell answering you.
All right, question 2. What impact does Dermot Desmond have on your job?
Oh, you know what? Quite a bit, because I only do what he tells me to do. And as long as I do what he tells me to do, it's all good. Therefore, he's not spending any money. I'm not
Follow-up
spending
question,
any money.
Does he have any fucking interest in owning Celtic anymore?
Yeah, of course he does. He has great interest in owning Celtic.
Purely financial.
You should ask
Why
ask
is
me
that?
why. Because it makes money for him. Come on, you think billionaires aren't interested in money? Of course he's interested in
So
money.
here's
Dermot's
a
my boy. You know what? And not only is Dermot cool, he also we know what the other day we got for making so much money last year. We got matching heated driveways. He's got one too.
also here. Was it really hard phoning up Dermot Desmond and telling him that we'd been pumped out the Champions League when he was watching his team Manchester United lose to MK Dons?
You know, it's a good thing they lost 4-0 to MK Dons, because if not, I probably would have heard a little bit more other than whatever.
All right, Peter. Last question. Why are we not spending to actually build a team and get in the Champions League?
Oh, because Rangers died and we're waiting for Sevco to come back.
Imagine if that was actually his fucking answer.
That is his answer.
You know what? I think
totally
you might be
believe.
right. I think that might actually be his answer, which is, how ridiculous is that?
Yes,
It's like
I believe that's his
Coca-Cola
answer.
saying, let's not market this year because sales of Pepsi have went down. Why would you fucking
Correct.
care what your opposition's doing?
I-
See, when you say, oh, there's a glass ceiling on Scottish football and that we can't get out, it's because you put it there. It's because your measuring stick is Rangers. That is it. That is honestly it. I'm at a loss to the direction of this club. I'm looking at Twitter today. I mean, how much rage was there? It was just, I don't think I've seen rage like that before.
Oh, you know what though? I'll tell you what. You talk about how we're connected, and you joke about that, but that leads me over to what was our worst of the week on the internet,
Oh,
our
you
best
should
of the
do
week on the
that.
internet. Still, we're dealing with Peter Lawwell. The absolute funniest part of the internet this week, the best of the internet, was Charles Green doing the bucket challenge and then nominating Peter Lawwell. I'm assuming that most people, if you nominate them, it's like your buddy or somebody you know. Please tell me why these two people why he's nominated
what?
Peter Lawwell. Is it to say he connected him, or he knows him, or what's
How
the story?
disgusting is that? Just on a separate level, just to be like, here's a charity thing for a really good, noble charity. I'm going to use it as a tool to get myself in a position with Rangers by curry the favour of Rangers fans by doing this. That is pathetic. That's utter shit. But you know what I thought would be funny? Right, see if Peter Lawwell decided, right, I'll do it. But then when they give him the ice bucket, instead of the ice bucket, it's the European Cup. And when he pours it over his head, it's not water, it's just fucking wads and money. That would have been that would have been fucking funny.
Have you seen that? Have you seen it?
They've
Actually,
done it?
someone did it. There's actually someone did a GIF where he takes the European Cup and turns it over, and dollar bills
I'm
come
glad
out.
someone done that. That would have been my best thing on the internet this week.
Anyway, I'm done talking about them. They're dead. Let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about Europa Cup.
Europa Cup, I suppose this is going to be what's keeps us going this year. I mean, hopefully, I'm trying to stay positive about it. I mean, Lennon's Europa League, or I keep calling it UEFA Cup, Europa League, kind of toughened up that team and brought the best out of guys like Ledley, Mulgrew, kind of improved in it. I don't know if this is going to have the same effect on the squad. Are we ready for the Champions League? No, we're obviously not. If we can't get through the qualifying rounds twice. How productive is Europa League going to be? No idea. I don't know what's really going to happen here. It's at least some form of European football for us. Are you excited? Or, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting to see them play somebody else new. I mean, obviously, for one, we're going to play Europe and not get Barcelona. So, I mean, I'm happy about that, I guess.
Yeah, wait, hold on. We can still get Milan, though, right? We always get Milan.
Yeah.
Or Shakhtar Donetsk in it.
Shakhtar Donetsk, yeah.
Benfica.
Shakhtar Karagandy also. So you can imagine a group of AC Milan, Karagandy, us, and Ligia.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, when we spoke about this first time around when we thought we'd been beat off Liga and we're talking about UEFA Cup or Europa League, I was way more excited about the whole prospect. Because it's like, right, we're out, that's that, we got pumped, we got absolutely horsed off Liga, no questions whatsoever. It's harder this time because we were so much closer to it, right? And the analogy that I had was, see when you're at the dancing, or as we say in Scotland, the dancing, you would say a nightclub, and you go up to the best looking girl in the bar, and you try and pull her, and you think you're doing alright, and then she knocks you back. And then later on in the night, you pull a reasonably good looking girl and take her home. And you're still like, I wish I'd pulled that really hot girl in the bar, but at least I'm getting my hole here. It is I suppose, some form of consolation, but I just can't get excited about it at the moment. I just still think of the Champions League. Maybe next week I'll be more excited about it. I think I will be when the squad starts to gel a little bit and we get the draw and we see who we're playing. Hopefully a little bit of excitement. It'd be nice if we could get a trip to Italy, a trip to Germany, something like that. I mean, what are your hopes and aspirations for this UEFA Cup hopefully run?
Well, for me, I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, I'm more worried about the people have to go. I've seen already 5 home games moved. They're going to be moved to a Sunday as compared to a Saturday, which makes the trip from Ireland a little bit harder for those who actually go and actually get there. So I mean, that's a little bit of an issue. I know I was looking at getting over there the week of a Champions League game. So instead of being able to watch the game Saturday and then Sunday so I can be home to Sunday for work, now I think that's going to change my plans to go over there in October. So, I see that as a negative, and everyone, complaining about Saturday 12:30 kickoffs, or, now they're even more excited, quote unquote, about Sunday 12:30 kickoff. So I think that's the downside. Upside, yeah, we'll have a couple extra games. I don't see us getting a full house or anything close to that until, the quarterfinals of Europa, maybe. What do you think?
Do you remember last time round where the first thing Peter Lawwell said was, it's a Champions League quality group? In other words, we're going to charge you the same as the Champions League. There's no point in complaining about Thursday kickoffs and Sunday kickoffs. I mean, if we are in UEFA Cup, that is going to happen. There's nothing that we can do to stop that. That is just part of the parcel. Unless we chose to play games on Saturday after playing on Thursday and put out a shadow squad. But that didn't work out too well when we played in Inverness the other day, so probably not the best idea. I don't know. I'm glad we have some form of European football this season. I'm hoping that we do have a little bit of a tough test and we don't play more kind of unknown teams. I'd like to get the more reasonably known teams that are in Europa League. I've not had a look at the draw yet. I don't know who we could possibly get, what pots would be in, that sort of thing. Hopefully we can get some form of run. People will always go on about Seville. UEFA Cup is a tough competition. Let's not deny ourselves that, or kid ourselves on. It's a tough competition, and not only is it a tough competition, our squad and our management and our whole setup at the moment is probably at its weakest point in the last couple of years. Unless we can get some form of quality in before the end of the transfer window, we're going to really struggle. I'm not convinced by the people coming in. I'm not really that excited about people that have came in. Sorry, who's the Ghanaian boy? Or is it Ghana he's
Mubarak.
from?
Mubarak.
Yeah, right. I've done the usual thing of looking him up on YouTube to see like his YouTube reel. And YouTube reels it's not the beginning end of a player. They're put together by agents to make him look good, etc., etc. But you know what I noticed? Did you watch this at all?
Yeah, I did. I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, right. He's running. He's a winger. He's lightning fast, isn't he? He's running down the wing, but he beats 2 or 3 people and he runs down the wing. And guess what? They cut to the next clip just before he's going to cross the ball. And it happened in the next clip, and the next clip, and the next clip. And his entire YouTube video, he only crosses the ball once, and it was a pretty pish cross that did connect. Do you think this guy's got no end product? Am I just jumping the gun here and just assuming this is the case?
Well, maybe we can put him on the opposite side from Izzy, and they can practice crossing to each other.
I don't think Izzy's too bad at crossing it. I think that he's improved a bit.
Times like practice the week before crossing with a balloon.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you what. You know who can't cross, and we'll say this again. Ambrose. Ambrose can't cross either.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
I think I would just I'd maybe try and experiment with Ambrose in a small game at him playing defensive midfield, and if it didn't work out, I think it's doors for.
I'm willing to go ahead. I think what happens is, where do I think Ambrose plays next? I think he plays on the same team as Pookie in the English Championship.
Yeah, I think that's probably will be the case. Okay, that's a good segue, actually. That's what we'll do, right? We're going to do Jog On and Yaldi as per usual, but my choices aren't going to be topics on Celtic, right? I'm just going to throw out players, and you tell me if they should jog on or what, or Yaldi or whatever, right? So let's just go from back to front in the team, okay? So we've got Craig Gordon in goals.
Yaldi, I'll take him.
Yeah, I'd take him.
I
think he's done well, and I think he's been unlucky with the goals he's conceded. And you know what? We've just got him for nothing, so there's no point in getting rid of him. Okay, Izzy, left back.
I like him. I do. I think he's got some issues as far as defense, but I mean, what do you expect from someone who runs 200 yards in each direction on every play because on the wing?
Yeah.
So I go Yaldi with Izzy. I'm an Izzy fan. I just wish he was a little bit more consistent on crosses. That's it.
Yeah, I'll Yaldi him as well. Lustig at right back.
Oh, double Yaldi
Yeah, really like
as a
Lustig.
right back. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think our wing backs or our full backs are the problem at Celtic anyway, so I'm glad. Right, we've got that, right? Centre half, we've obviously got big Virgil van Dijk. I don't think anybody could possibly say he's a jog on. Mind you, he might jog on himself due to not having Champions League football to play. We've got our new boy, Denier. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's been a couple of weeks. I should have really nailed it by now. Is it too early? I think it's too early. Are we getting a jog on or Yaldi?
Compared to what we have, he's a Yaldi right now. Compared to everyone else we got.
So our bench players in this position, Ambrose. Is it time to go? Is it a jog on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
I think it really is time for him to jog on.
Yes.
I think he's part of the. There's a lot of players that are dead weight at this club. That I think he's one of them. Okay, let's talk about centre of the park. Kyle.
Kyle is. I'll put it this way: Kyle in a situation where he's pushed more up. When he played against Maribor away, I loved the way he played there. He was played right in front of Mulgrew, and he was able to go ahead and dog the ball in the middle of the park, dog the players, play a bit more up front, more offensively. And I loved the way, and he had his best game ever since he hurt himself at Inverness, 4 years ago. That to me was an absolute masterclass performance. He played great. If he plays there the rest of the time, the answer is Yaldi. If you try and put him in the defensive side and he's just mad crazy, batshit crazy, looking to take someone out and trust him, he's got a yellow card coming somewhere.
I'm going to be honest here, man. I think I was really happy to see him have a really good game for us the other day. He looked like he's going through a bit of a renaissance under Ronnie, but I just think he's just too many bad games. I just couldn't trust him to put him out there week in, week out. I think he's dead wood. I think it's time to jog on. But you said Yaldi or jog on? You said Yaldi.
Yaldi in an advanced position, jog on, playing on the defensive side.
Well, he's going to be playing in the sitting position, so he can jog on. Yeah, we Callum McGregor. There's no point in saying jog on to him. He's been fucking smashing since he came to the club.
Yeah,
great wee kid. So great for him. Johansson.
He's got some improving to do. He's an undecided right now.
It's not a Yaldi. It's not a jog on. It's just you need to pull it together and make it happen week in, week out, mate. Right. Well, there's no point in saying Forrest because he's injured. What about your likes of McGeoch? I can't really see any future for him at Celtic at all. Jog on?
Not Inverness. He's got to be sent out again or jog on. One of the two.
Okay, Stokes.
Stokes is a Yaldi for me. I love him, and plus his dog. He hates the Queen, so he's a Yaldi for me.
I think Stokes is toast, man. I think it's time to get the boat. I think he needs to jog on. I think he's probably one of the better strikers at the club at the moment. However, I don't think he's going to take us to the next level. I think it needs a massive clear out up front, and he's one of the guys that needs to get his marching orders. Problem is, he doesn't. I don't know if he earns a lot of money. I'm not sure he does. I don't think anyone's really that interested in him either. So I think I can see him hanging about for a while. Okay, right, Pookstar, wee Pookie.
He's a capital JOG, capital ON.
I think you're right. I think it's time for Pookie to jog on.
He's got to go.
Stokes' hair twin, Griffiths.
I like him. I think he's a Yaldi. I do.
I think he's a Yaldi. I don't think we've seen him play this year, have we? No, not much of him anyway. Kind of in a really deep role. I don't think that's where he needs to play at all. But okay, last but not least, well, we'll leave out Commons because I think we said our piece on Commons last week. But Derek Bo Richter.
Oh, he's got to jog on. It's time. It's time. It's been a £3 million experiment that basically went pear-shaped.
Yep. Poor old Derek, big Del boy, utter pish, man. I think he can cross the ball. I don't think he can do much else. I think his ankles are made of chocolate as well. Jog on, mate. Jog on. All right, you got any of the Yaldis and jog on?
I do. I have some other ones for you. Here you go. You ready?
All right, let's go.
Yaldi jog on. Reports of $8.5 million for Virgil from Newcastle.
I thought that had already been dispelled as absolute rubbish, but you know what? I'm not going to sell my best players. I want to keep my best players. What's the point in taking 8.2 million because we don't fucking reinvest it unless he comes to me and tells me he wants to leave. That can fucking jog on.
All right. How about Commons not getting a game at Maribor, and then then him playing on Saturday against Inverness, and people saying he's shite, and then not getting a game against Maribor at home, and then people saying we suck because he didn't play.
Yeah, I think you got to be consistent with your slaggings of a player and your slaggings of a manager. You got to make it all
That's
add
my
up.
point.
So that can jog on. That can jog on.
Here you go. You ready? Jog on or Yaldi? Silas saying he didn't play Ambrose away to Maribor because Effie wasn't in the right frame of mind.
I've absolutely no idea what that means.
I don't know
Right
either.
Frame of mind.
He hasn't been in the right frame of mind since he came back from the frickin' African Cup of Nations.
What frame of mind do you need to be in or not be in or to miss a football match? I don't know.
I read that and I was stunned.
That
he said that and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe his confidence is low or something like that. I don't know. I think that can jog on.
Now, Dragon or Yaldi for this. Here's something that it's about someone we don't like, but it's still Dragon or Yaldi for the idea.
Okay.
Dirk got he agreed to a 2-game suspension for the dive.
Okay.
Where if he had just been caught for it in the game, he would have only gotten a yellow card. Dragon or Yaldi for that rule.
That's a stupid rule. That can jog on. That's just stupid. Such a stupid rule. It's just so inconsistent. The word inconsistent's coming up a lot today. Yeah, next. What we got?
Okay, Dragon or Yaldi, we dodged a bullet by not hiring Malky Mackay.
Yes, that is Yaldi, thank fuck for that. I think there's something up there. There's something going on. From what I hear, like a lot of people like Pierre have came forward and said, I've never known Malky to be racist. Maybe he's just fell in with a bad crowd of people and started using really unacceptable language. It's absolutely There's no defending it at all. If he's came out and said, yeah, I did say that, then yeah. But I think potentially there's something more than meets the eye with this whole thing with Vincent Tan anyway. But I'm not going to sit here and speculate about it. It's just completely unacceptable. No defending it. And Yaldi, we did not get Malky Mackay.
I'm going to give you my idea on this one. I think the answer is overall Yaldi, yes, for the issue. But I honestly believe if it was announced that we were about to hire him, this would have come out beforehand. And the same way it was announced when he was talking about taking that job that Neil Warnock got the other day, I think that would have been something that would have been really interesting to talk about. I don't think he would have ever gotten the job at Celtic. I think it would have come out. I think Tam would have tried to go ahead and scuttle his whole hopes of getting another job if that had come up again. But that's just me.
He would not have got it, but tell you what, you know how we mentioned the shit English manager merry-go-round?
Yes, exactly. We talk about that.
Neil Warnock
gets another job.
How does he get a job? Fucking hell. All right. Anyway,
all right, here you go. I got a couple more. You ready? Dragon or Yaldi, McGregor's 3 away goals being talked about as if they're Champions League goals.
Yeah, they're not Champions League goals. They're Champions League qualifiers. You know what I mean? It's just completely different kettle of fish. Taking nothing away from him. Is he like 20? He's scoring Champions League qualifying goals. That's a good start. A great wee player. I'm loving Wee McGregor. I think he's the only player that seems completely in the game at the minute. And also getting a Scotland cap. How about that?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Yeah, it's Dragon or Yaldi, him getting a Scotland cap.
I'm giving that a Yaldi. I do have a feeling that there's a slight paranoia around young Scottish players with Scottish management, especially Celtic players, that they'll potentially go away and play for Ireland. So I think giving him a cap early, he'll get one cap early. I'll be interested to see if he gets selected to the next squad. I think they're just going to put a cap on him to make sure that he can't play for Ireland, basically. I know nothing about the kid's background. I don't know if he has an Irish granny or whatever, but I just think there is, with McGeady and, other players. Arthur or McCarthy that's with Ireland. I always get those two confused.
McCarthy. Yeah,
McCarthy. Speaking of which...
So here you go. Ready?
Yep.
Dragon or Yaldi, Man U paying £125,000 a week for Nani to play, or Nani, whatever you want to call him, to play for Sporting. Sporting's playing zero. Dragon or Yaldi for, you ready? How the fuck did Peter Lawwell miss this deal? We could have gotten Nani for free.
Nah.
And I don't mean for free, I mean for free.
It's part of the Rojo or the Rojo transfer, isn't it? So it's effectively saying, wait, we're buying Rojo for 15 million quid, or whatever it was, 16 million. I don't know if that's the price. I got told it was something like that. But we're actually paying 20 or 23 because here's Nanny as well. And that solves one problem of us getting him loaned out, but we're actually just paying for it. Part of the
Because I was
party.
curious. I was curious how Peter Lawwell missed out on a free transfer of Nani, and not just free, but like paid him to play. That would have been. I was just curious about that one.
Because
Anyway,
he's raking about Man City reserves at the minute, not Man United. But yeah, speaking of McCarthy and MacArthur, do you notice that MacArthur, 90-minute cynic, put out a tweet today saying MacArthur's went to Leicester for for £7 million?
yeah.
Yeah. So that just the state of like Celtic, where like we could not compete for first division football players anymore. I mean, what Ross McCormack going for about 11? Was it 11?
It was 11, and then
11,
someone else going for
right.
was it Shane Long going for like 11 or 12?
Yeah. Well, if you look at it from a Scotland perspective, we now can't afford fringe players of the Scottish national team.
Isn't that sad?
Actually, if you think of like the Scottish national team, you've got Stevie Fletcher up front with like Naismith, okay? Then you'd have like maybe MacArthur in midfield with you could say Snodgrass and McCormack maybe there. We couldn't afford any of those players. Away from Brown, I mean, Mulgrew gets a game for Scotland. I mean, just our team used to fucking pepper the fucking Scottish national team. We can't afford the Scottish national players anymore. That's usually that used to be seen as a cheap option. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing for Scottish football, or maybe it's just a sad reflection of our position in an overall transfer market. I don't know. It's sad days. Sad days, I think, for Celtic. But anyway, I think we need to be more positive.
All right, so let's be more positive. So let's make fun of more people. All right, so you ready?
All right.
So if there's a Jogon or Yaldi, you ready? This is my favorite stuff.
Let's
The
go.
beginning comments to any CQN post. Celtic Quick News. If I were to read to you the top 5 comments of CQN, what would you say to that? Okay, so ready? Here's one. Here's what I'm looking at. The first one, the guy's talking about in this one, this is my favorite one. Celtic player, luxury, not afforded to Maribor. Some doofus, the first comment is cycling. The next one, hail, poor Cierto. Next one, CFC. Next one's nothing but a smiley face. Next one's a comment about something that happened 3 days ago. The next one is, I was talking to a guy who pal boy who knows Robertson went to why do people comment on this website and it's stupid shit? I'm saying Yaldi because it's only funny to read, but it's absolute fucking jog on. Why don't you comment about the article? Even the worst part about it, and I'm sorry to take over my asking you jog on or Yaldi, but fucking jog on. Stop talking about who the fucking podium is, please. Ugh.
I honestly stopped reading Celtic Quick News, not because I don't like it or I don't have time to read every Celtic fan site, you know what I mean? And it's just not one of the ones that comes up. Actually, I suppose I do read Quick News quite a bit, but I do see the comments seem a bit mental, and sometimes you get comments like, it's just like a spam bot thing that's like, buy this diet supplement, and all this, and they don't think to take it down. It just looks really stupid.
And listen,
That's
I'd be,
that's
at least
jog on.
it'd be interesting reading. At least it would say, listen, I make $89 an hour from selling supplements. At least I would get something out of it. I get absolutely zip out of someone going top 10. Oh,
The problem with the internet is everyone has the opportunity to go on the internet, and some of the shit that comes out is just like, I remember reading on these like some shit news message board where it's like, oh, Celtic are signing this guy for 10 million, and be thinking like, where the fuck are you getting this story? Utter nonsense, man. Utter nonsense. Anyway, right, that pissed you off, so let's be positive, right? I'm going to play a positive game with you now, right? And
Oh.
I've stolen this from my sister, right? My sister's a primary school teacher. And parents' night, is it parent-teacher night in America? What do you call it?
yes.
You go and meet the
That's
teacher.
right, parent-teacher night. Yep.
She's a primary school teacher, elementary school teacher, as you guys would say. And sometimes she just gets these kids who are just complete morons, who are just like licking the windows. The other kids hate them. They're stupid. They know shit. They just don't pay attention in class. They're just the worst students in the world, and they're terrible kids. And the parent comes in, she's like, and has to like speak in very general terms about how awesome and nice this kid is, because you don't want to break don't want to break the parent's heart. Right, Celtic players, I'm going to put out a name, and then you've just got to like speak positive about them for 30 seconds, okay? You game?
Oh my God. No, hold on. Let me. I'm going to need a hit of something to make me think positive about a couple people. Go ahead.
Right, here we go. Pookie, go. You're on the clock. 30 seconds.
He's got Pookie. He's got great hair. He's gentle. He's a very sweet kid. He's afraid to go ahead and have contact with anybody because he doesn't want to make anybody mad. He's a lovely person. He speaks a good second language. How'd I do?
I think I was under 30 seconds. All right, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Amido Balde. Boom. Start. 30 seconds.
He's tall. He's really tall. He's Portuguese, I think. I take it back. He's from Sierra Leone. He's got he can barely speak English, but he's trying. He has big feet. He has his feet are so big that he can dribble a little bit better than most people with big feet. He scored a goal against Liverpool.
Right. Okay. That's 30 seconds. Right. Your last 30 seconds. I've saved the best for last year. Your pal, Derek Bo Richter, and you're not allowed to mention his wife's hot.
Well, thank God he's not married. Okay, if I were to role play Dirk Bo Richter, every answer to every question is my girlfriend is ex Miss Netherlands. That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's it. Listen, what am I going to say positive about him? He can't run for more than 30 minutes. He can't stand up. He can't pressure anybody. He can't do anything. I mean, I like to be positive. The only thing he's got going for him is that he wears tight pants and that his girlfriend likes him. Oh, I take that back. There's one more thing that he's got.
What?
He's got a ton of our money because Peter Lawwell gave it to him.
Yeah, he does have a fucking ton of money. That's good. Yeah, so apparently Bo Richter and Kyle are really good mates, and there was a video online of them jumping one of their Celtic players on Buchanan Street. So they're like, I can just keep on imagining them like hanging out in Nando's together, being like, "Here, Kyle, you're really good at football," and he's like, "Ah, yeah, but Richter, you're great as well. We're like the best players at Celtic." And do you think they hang about just because they're really shit? I think that's what their bond was.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Because like,
what else could it be?
Because I know that like Sutton and Larson were really good mates, and apparently Lubo was mates with Petrov and stuff like that, and it was just like that bonding thing of two players that are just like really good and just that kind of mutual respect for each other, and just they're both fucking shit, and they're just like, well, let's just tell each other we're awesome. I don't know.
Do you mean the same way that you and I would probably not put Ally McCoist on our Christmas card list?
He's getting a card, is he not? We'd say
not for me, he doesn't. No, not for me. Not even get the fuck Christmas card. Not even that.
Ah, well, yeah. So anyway, we need to be positive about this season. I think we're at a stage where the season's pretty much over for us. Starting now, if we don't get, we're gonna have to.
Let's be positive.
No, I mean
the season's over.
The season is like, let's face it. Our season is getting in the Champions League. We're fucked. We're not in it. Let's find ways to be positive and make this a season, because I always remember that we're in the UEFA Cups. That's a start. So like UEFA Cups, great and all, but the season that like Venglos was there and we knew we weren't winning the league, and even worse was the season where Barnes was there and he got sacked and Dalglish came over. You have to remember that Celtic Park was a new stadium then. It was like pretty much brand new. It was the second year of the all-seater stadium. So we're happy being at the games, and all the games are packed out and we're all excited and stuff like that. But the football was pretty pish. We had people injured a lot, like Larson broke his leg that year, so we were missing them. We're playing a lot of the reserves. But you're going to the games and you still want to have fun. And I heard like in the early 90s when Celtic were really chronic, a lot of the guys coming across in groups from Ireland and stuff still tried to make it a laugh. So how on earth do we make this season a laugh? You know what I mean? I mean, when you're under...
I got an idea. How about we pick players that we want to... We want them to get a game. So we root for them, even like a Leo Fassan. We want him to play.
Well, he's just signed a new deal. Celtic releasing the news story that they're like, yes, we've just signed Leon Fassan to a new contract. I drop that the day after we get pumped out the Champions League.
That's a total Yaldi. I love that idea. That's great. Yeah. That's like a new signing.
It's a new signing.
Yes,
we just saved ourselves 10 million quid.
Yes, Ronnie was saying we're going to give you at least one new signing, and that was one of them.
Obviously, when we heard the news of Fassan signing for Celtic, I was straight on the phone to you. You were crying a little bit. You were excited. I mean, what were your feelings when you heard that Leo Fassan had signed for Celtic the day after we'd been pumped at the Champions League?
I was excited. I was. Isn't he Italian? I think he's Italian, isn't he?
Italian. Yeah.
I was thinking. I think he's like the next coming of Gianluigi.
Buffon.
What's his face? Yeah, Buffon. I think he's the next coming of Buffon.
I'm taking nothing away from the player. We're taking the piss there a bit. I think he looks all right, young goalkeeper, but releasing that as a news statement the day after you get pumped out of the Champions League and just expecting people to be like, yes, we've got a third string goalkeeper. Fucking yes. Oh, this whole Champions League thing means nothing now. We've got Leo Fassan.
I will say this: he's better than that guy Pleticosa that we brought in that ended up playing the World Cup, who was absolute shit. So I will give you that. I like the. I listen. To be honest, yes, you're correct. I like the kid. I'm trying to be facetious, but it's. I'll tell you what. And you want to be positive. We want to be happy today, but the day after what we just saw is anyone really happy?
Yeah. Here's an idea. Like we were saying, like I'm not even going to acknowledge that. I mean, that season I was talking about there, we started like picking up players who were just like getting a game at the time, and instead of slacking them off, because there's a lot of people that just kept on. In recent years, people are more on the case of players, but back then people weren't. They just kind of got behind players, and our little section down in the East Stand Lower just started championing like some players who other people were giving abuse to and were out. And quite strangely, Celtic Underground tweeted today about Reggie Blinker playing defensive midfield. And he went through a wee spell where Reggie was playing defensive midfield with Petrov in the middle. A lot of the Celtic young boys, I think Ross Wallace and Simon Lynch were out there and stuff like that playing. And Reggie was actually not that bad. He had a good few couple of games and everybody got behind him. And there was another, Tommy Johnson was there at the time, was getting a game. He just looked so excited to play football for Celtic, even though we were getting pumped. I mean, we won the League Cup and he was like running about like we just won the World Cup because we won the League Cup against Aberdeen at CIS. And I always remember the last day of the season when Dalglish finished as manager, Tommy Johnson, because our whole crowd, our whole section, at least stand lower, got behind Tommy, and I looked like a fat Tommy Johnson as a kid, so everyone in my section just referred to me as wee Tommy Johnson. And there was one goal he scored where we got the ball and went down the field, all the way down the field, and then it was coming to Johnson. I was like, give it to Johnson, give it to Johnson. Give it to Johnson, doing the whole commentary, thinking I was the commentator all the way down the field, and then he put it in, and everybody just went nuts. So it's just nice to see some different guys get a game and get behind some players that other people are just not given time for. I mean, we've been fairly critical of Kyle and Bo Richter and all these guys. Do you think, is there any player that we should actually be like laying off, and should we start getting behind Pookie, or is it like Bo Richter? Should we start getting behind him and hoping that we can kind of inspire him to become a bit of a player?
You mean get behind him as we push them out the door? That's
not
what you meant, is it?
I don't think Bo Richter's going anywhere. I think we're lumbered with him for the season. I think we're going to have to embrace the Pookie, and then we're going to have to love the Pook. He's here. I think we've got him for a season, mate. I think that's it.
Maybe we should start a new hashtag, Love the Pook.
Love the Pook. He does have a cracking song from Schalke, as I've mentioned before. Cracking
He
song.
does.
I don't know if we should pick a player, or like what I think we should do is we should put it out to anybody that actually listens to the show. What players should Smell the Glove get behind? Who should we champion this season? And there's no point in saying like Callum McGregor, because obviously he's like a young player coming through. I mean, what fringe player who's currently shite should we get behind to try and inspire greatness out of? I'm thinking Pookie.
Because he's going to get a lot of games.
So difficult to think what the squad's going to be. Is Tonev back yet? I heard Elvis spotted Tonev in Glasgow. Is his mum still here?
She has to be. But I told you he was hurt.
So,
he was hurt, yeah. He was injured, yeah. Exactly.
Cool. What we should do
so that's the reason why we bought a player who was injured.
We should got bought a player who's injured. Okay, well, what we should probably do is just like make sure.
Or, excuse me, loaned to play.
Loan to buy.
Yes,
loan to buy.
Loan to buy.
I don't mind
Yes.
loan to buy. I can accept loan to buy. That's okay. I just don't want loan players to give them back.
Now, why do we have? And I saw this the other day. I wish I could say this, but the tweet of the week has to be Celtic has more loans out than Wonga.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Are we not about to hit the limit on fucking loans? I don't know. You know what? I think Bergit can get the fuck. I think he can jog on.
Listen, at this point in time today, jogging on all the players we've had jogging on, we'd have 8 kids and 4 people from the development squad on our team by the time we were done after jog on after yesterday's performance.
I think we should just get a big fucking. Right, do you remember when the Daily Record? Well, obviously you don't remember it, but you know the story of the Daily Record getting a hearse and parking it outside of Celtic Park because they're saying Celtic is dead in '94. You know what we should do? Actually, let's start a Kickstarter campaign. Let's get a skip to be put on the doorstep of Celtic Park, and just tell them to put all the fucking shit players in it. Just get fucking Bo Richter and that skip. Get him to fuck. You guys are fucking rubbish. How much think it cost? How much think it cost for a skip?
So we have to start out with Dermot and Peter.
They can get in that fucking skip as well.
They really can. Right now, yeah, they can. They've made an enemy out of me. They really have. They had the opportunity to do so much more. They made an enemy out of me. But I will say this, and I will say this just so we can say that we ended on a positive note today. So let's say we're going to end on a positive note. You ready?
Right, let's do it.
Ready? Here you go. The positive thought of the day is that disappointment is temporary, but liquidation is fucking permanent.
That's good. However, we're not allowed to compare ourselves to Rangers. We'd be hypocritical. We've said we can't use them as a measuring stick. No, here's my positive thing. Get in touch with us. The email address is
stgcelticpodcast@gmail.com.
Get in touch with us and let us know what fringe players that this podcast should champion for the season. I think it's Pookie. I think the positive for this is what's going to happen is we're going to go on a UEFA Cup run all the way to at least the semis of the finals, and Pookie's just going to fucking tear it up in the UEFA Cup and turn into a player. And we're like, you know how like Samaras was shit in the league, but then he was suddenly really good in Europe? And we're like, all right, now he's useful. Oh, we can keep him about for Europe. I think that's it. I think Pookie's just going to destroy the Europa League. That's it.
Wow.
Let
me tell you something. You've gone out on a branch, and I don't mean a thick one either. Wow.
No,
okay.
No, I'm not even on a branch. I'm on like fucking a piece of thin ice because there's fucking no chance that's happening, is there? I'm just slaving. I'm delusional. It's like fucking a heat wave in Toronto right now. I'm sitting in a room with no air conditioning, no fans on because of the sound, and it just went to my head because there's fucking no chance that's happening, is there? Fuck it.
No.
All right. Chance. Right, we want a fringe player, so get in touch. We're going to sponsor a fucking fringe player for this year. We're just going to get right behind him and make him our guy. Or we can do a couple. We can maybe do a couple. Do you think we could do? You can have a player and I can have a player. Would that be right?
Okay, I'll take one. Yeah,
I'll take. Actually, that's what we'll do. We'll get Celtic shirts for this season, but we've got to get whoever the listeners say on our back, right? So you've got to choose who Dr. J has on his back of his shirt and the back of mine. We'll get the Celtic. Have you got the Celtic away?
You know what? I refused to buy anything. Oh, by the way, we haven't even talked about the one thing we want to talk about before we say goodbye.
Oh yeah, we're going to boycott Celtic.
Yes.
I've got a way around this, right? Because like, what we're saying is we were talking on Twitter today, and we're like, let's cancel our Celtic TV subscriptions because fuck the club. Not fuck Celtic Football Club, but the board and Lawwell and all this, and just take money off them. And I think we should. I think we should fucking organise a mass cancellation of Celtic TV and just watch it on dodgy streams. Legally, I'm not allowed to say that, but we totally should. If we're doing this, we can't buy Celtic shirts. But guess what? Down at Kensington Market in Toronto, which is equivalent to Camden Market in London, guess what they sell?
Knockoff shirts.
Fake Celtic shirts. So if I walk about Toronto city centre, I can't buy a regular Celtic shirt. But I can go down to Kensington Market and buy a fake Celtic shirt. That's brilliant. I could buy a fake one, but I can't buy a real one.
You know what I'm going to do? For the next couple of days, every day, I'm going to say, if you want a Celtic shirt, I'm going to find one on, what's that website called? Alibaba, where they sell fake knockoff shit from around all of Asia. I'm going to find a link where I can buy a Nike shirt. I don't care if the freaking swoosh is backwards. I'm going to find a Nike shirt out there where I'm going to tweet it all day long. Don't support your side, but don't give money to the PLC. This is how you do it. You buy a fake knockoff Celtic shirt.
That's what we should do, right? Challenge of the week is we'll both go out and try and buy a fake Celtic shirt.
Yes.
We'll get the names of whatever player in the back of it, right? But for our fake players, for our fake shirts. But instead of going out and getting printed like proper like Bo Richter or Pookie or whoever gets choice in it, I think we should just get a bit of duct tape and write it on the back of the shirt just to make it even more fake.
Well, it's only fair because, they're on loan anyway, so it's not like we can rip the tape off and put a different player's name on there.
Yeah. No, and the bad news is that Bo Richter and Pookie aren't on loan.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So,
forgot about that. No, but that's what we do. I'm gonna find a link, and I'm gonna tweet it out for the next couple of days. Here it is. This is how we support Celtic as the club, but we don't give the PLC any money. Buy a fake Celtic shirt.
Yeah, I think definitely everyone should cancel their Celtic TV subscriptions, and all the money raised from that, saving that, we should all put together and get that skip in the front of Celtic Park in the steps. But yeah, I think we've rambled on enough today. You got anything else to say?
I do. I think going into the future, there's one thing I want to talk to you guys about. I want to let everyone know what we're planning, and I've come across someone who wrote a book about how Celtic supporters become Celtic supporters, and we're looking at getting him interviewed. I think that'd be great because I know we've talked in the past about trying to talk about old players and how you could learn more about Celtic, especially trying to make this more fan friendly for people like me who are relatively new fans. So we'll get him on the phone. I know he's going on vacation. Don't feel bad for him. He's going to Mallorca for a couple weeks vacation. So as soon as he gets back, we'll get him on the phone and we'll go through stuff with him.
That's cool. That kind of really runs into something that I was going to do as well, where I've got a friend here in Canada who's decided to start watching football, and he's trying to pick a club to support. Now, I've suggested to him that he should obviously support Celtic and not the English Premier League, and he seems quite keen on the idea. And one of the reasons he's quite keen on the idea is he's a big history buff. So I've set him the challenge this week, without telling him anything about Celtic, to go and do a little bit of research into Celtic Football Club online. We're going to get him on the show in the next couple of weeks to tell us what he found out about Celtic and if he's enjoying it, etc., and what his thoughts are on getting involved in a football team. Oh, actually, there's one thing I did want to bring up. Yeah, so like, as I was saying offline, I'm seeing this new girl. She's French Canadian and stuff, right? So they're obviously big into hockey over there. And I wanted to bring up the concept of, like, when you're in a relationship over here, you've got to mention, oh, by the way, I really like football. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, no, like, I support Celtic. I really like football. And she's like, oh, yeah, like hockey and stuff. I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm a Celtic supporter. This is see, after my fucking parents and my sister, like, Celtic's the most important thing in my life. I mean, how is it for you? Like, I mean, when you suddenly became a Celtic fan a few years back, and how did you break it to your wife? Was it like coming out or something?
It was, it's funny. Yes, I had to. When I first started dating Stacy, it was one of those things that she's like, "Oh, so you like soccer?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I like soccer and I like watching it." And as you say, football, and it moved on to the other day. I listened when I'm, especially since I work from home. She's like, "Oh, listen, I saw that you started putting all the European games in the middle of the week on your schedule, so I she's so sweet. She's like, I didn't schedule anything around those times so you could watch the game. I'm like, thank you, baby. I love you. Because she understands.
Keeper. She's a keeper.
Yeah, she's a keeper.
She
is totally a keeper. I even bought her a new pair of gloves the other day. She's a keeper.
She'd also steal your beer. She's a good laugh in a night out. Your wife, Stacey.
She is. She is a charmer.
But yeah, like, I kept on going on to this girl. I was like, yeah, like, I really like football. And she's like, oh yeah, like, hockey's really popular here. And I'm like, no, it's not the same. It's like, so I want someone to email in and be like, right, how do I explain how obsessed Celtic fans are? How do I break this to her that I'm just this lunatic that gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning when I actually wake up to watch games on TV broadcast from Scotland against Inverness Cali Thistle? So yeah, break it down to me. How do I explain to my girlfriend that I'm a Celtic fan and what being a Celtic fan means? But that's
now we can have someone send that in, but I'm going to tell you what happens on the backside. You ready? This is what happens. Saturday morning, I get up at 7 o'clock, watch my pregame show as usual. That I know you didn't get up to watch because you said Yaldi you would try, but I know you didn't.
I didn't. No,
and then. And then I get this on Sunday, right? We're out Saturday night. We had a good time watching whatever we're watching Saturday. I drank through the pain of Inverness. No big deal. Next thing I know, Sunday gets around and I don't get up till like 9:30. And she looks at me and she goes, "Get up." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because." "Get up." I said, "I'm tired." She goes, "You can't be tired." I said, "Why is that?" She goes, "Because you spent all day watching soccer yesterday. You went to bed at like 2 a.m. on Friday night. You were up at 7 to watch Celtic, and now you mean to tell me because I want to go to the beach today on Sunday, you can't get up and get out of bed because you're tired?" I said, "Yeah, because Celtic was on. That's why I got up. If the Celtic wasn't on, I wasn't getting up."
Yeah, I hear
so just
you.
be prepared for that conversation.
The first kind of like twinkling of an idea that this was potentially more to me than just like watching the Blue Jays or the Leafs or any of that. Oh, speaking of which, how shit a teams have I got at the moment? Leafs bottle it before the playoffs, Blue Jays bottle it before the playoffs, and Celtic bottle it before the Champions League. But anyway, I digress. So like, we're sitting at a bus stop and we're going to work, and she's like, "I'll check the weather on my iPhone." And she starts checking the weather for Toronto, and it was the day of the game, and I was like, "Can you check the weather for Glasgow?" She's like, Why do you want to check the weather for Glasgow?" I'm like, "Oh, no reason. And she's like, "Is this your football match?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of."
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to, she's like thinking of like our day at work and all this, and all that was going through my head was, what's that surface going to be like? Are we going to be able to play the ball? My football geek coming through. I'm an absolute
Yes.
tragic case. So I'm going to have to break it to her sooner or later that I'm an absolute lunatic with football. So if anyone's got any ideas how I break this to her, just please get in touch and let me know how you've done it with yours.
Especially, yeah, I told you how I did mine. I just basically told her. I've seen some great examples online, though, where people have said things like, the best thing you could do at this point in time would be to tell her that either she does what I tell her to do or she can leave. Either she gets it or she doesn't. So
the old Umbro advert that used to be in the toilets of Celtic Park when Umbro sponsored Celtic was, if she said it's Celtic or me, would you miss her? Which I always thought was quite good for Umbro. So yeah, I think North Americans not really understanding that Celtic is more than a club to us. And not all North Americans, because obviously the North Americans that support Celtic really get it and they're really in tune with like what's going on. All the guys down at Philly we met are all absolute bampots and lunatics for the Celtics. So I'm gonna have to. I'll maybe phone up Seamus and Graham Wilson and ask them for advice as well as you. So see what happens. But yeah,
or Sean Brennan, which of all three of those guys have absolute charms for wives and the most unbelievably accepting women I've ever met.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is, Paul.
I need an unbelievably accepting woman then. Yeah. Because I don't think North Americans twig where it's like, because I always like, one of the guys like I was saying we're going to get on the show is a huge Edmonton Oilers fan. And Edmonton Oilers are just the dynasty of hockey. And I'm like, oh yeah, like Celtic means this important. He's like, oh yeah, like in Edmonton, like this is what it means to the people of Edmonton to watch hockey. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably true. You probably are the most Celtic of hockey. However, you're not Celtic. It's more than that. It's more than the Oilers. It's more than New York Yankees. It is, like we're saying, checking your phone in the morning to see what the weather's like in Glasgow as well, on the day of a game or some shit like that. And like, whenever anything that happens in life, you're like, how does it impact me? Then how does it impact Celtic? You know what I mean? If the stock market crashed, I'd be like, all right, am I going to lose my job? Then I'd be like, all right, are Celtic going to have less money or more money to spend this year? Or not spend? I don't know. I think I'm sick. So also, yeah, as well, right? Get in touch with us and let us know when you realise that you're truly sick for Celtic and you're just mental in the head. Is there something that you do? Is it like a certain superstition you have about Celtic or whatever? Just let us know and we'll try and read some shit out if it's funny, right? Anyway, exactly. I think that's about it. So hail, hail, and keep the faith from me.
Hail, hail, everyone. Thanks for listening again. We hope to see you next time.
Take it easy, guys. See you next time.
Hail, hail.